Hey guys, my name's Megan Purrier and I'm a reporter for 13 News Now over in Norfolk, Virginia, and I'm going to get to y'all's questions. So let's see. So I'm a reporter for 13 News Now. I've been doing this for about a year and a half. Before this, I was a researcher at CNN in Washington, D.C. I chose this career because I wanted to help people. I wanted to meet people who are facing problems or situations and give them a voice, give them an outlet so that they would be able to talk about what they're going through or how they need help. You don't get to do this every single day, but most of my days I really get to showcase what people are going through and hopefully get them the help that they need. Typical day. That's a good question. So I usually get in at around 8:30. I come up with pitch ideas, which are you can write an idea down, but you need to be able to turn those ideas into reality. So I'll pitch about 3 ideas. Then my producers will pick one of those ideas, and then I have to go out into the field, which means I get a video camera and I go film whatever my story is. Now, sometimes I will have a photographer come with me. It depends on what the story is about. But I go out, I film whatever I need to film for my story. I interview just different people who are involved in the story. And then I have to come back. I have to write all these stories up. I have to edit all these stories together on the computer. And then usually I have to have a couple different versions. So we go live at 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock. And each one needs to have a little bit more of an update to the story or what's going on. So after you go live, you have to do a web script for the end of the night. And on the overall, it's just really important to use social media throughout the day, as long as you're doing something on, I don't know, Instagram, if you're doing something with YouTube, if you're doing something with Twitter. It's really important to let people know what time your story's at, because if it impacts them, you want them to be watching and make sure they know what's going on. Let's see. I was 23 when I started working towards this career goal, so it's never too late to do what you want to do. I was thinking about going to law school, and then I actually got into grad school for journalism, and I loved reading, I loved writing, and when I was in journalism school, I learned how to shoot and edit and use a camera and all the technology on a computer to make my stories happen. So again, it's never too late, no matter what anybody says. I was out of college and ended up having to get a little bit more schooling to do what I wanted to do, but if it's worth it, you should do it. Let's see, what kind of schooling or training? So it's really important if you're interested in reporting that you're a strong reader, you're a strong writer. You can obviously learn a lot of skills along the way, but those are really a lot of the foundation. It's also important to be someone who likes to ask questions, who's really determined to get answers. So there's some schooling and there's some classes that you definitely have to take, but at the end of the day, being a good reporter really kind of comes down to using those skills, but using them the right way when you're out in the field and you're covering a story. Some traits. Oh, it's kind of the next question. So I'd say some traits are being confident, being determined, because people are going to tell you no a billion times in one day, and you need to be able to go to the next person and talk to them and not feel sad or upset or anything like that. So today I did a story and I knocked on about 35 doors and one person answered and talked to me. So you got to keep going no matter what. You always have to be determined. My favorite thing about my career, I think kind of what I said earlier, I love helping people. I like doing a story and watching it on the news later and hearing that I did a story about how the SPCA, for example, needs a lot more dog food. They're really short on dog food. And then I hear that hundreds of people came forward not too long later and donated lots of food for all the dogs there. It makes me feel like those people were helped, they got what they needed, and that just makes me really feel happy. Some challenges that you will encounter is what I said before. People will tell you no. every single day, multiple times a day. So that's a challenge, but how you overcome that is super important. You can't get negative. You have to stay really positive and upbeat and just be determined to do what's next and what's best for your story, because that's your focus and that's your job, and you should never let anybody who says no get in your way. How much does someone expect to make? That's a good question. So I've heard as low as $25,000, and then you can hear as high as like Anderson Cooper, Wolf Blitzer for CNN, who make millions of dollars each and every single year. So in this career, it kind of is as far as you want to take it and as far as you can take it. So if you're a local reporter and you want to get up to the national level, you have a chance of making tons and tons of money. But you may want to just kind of keep a healthy salary, something that keeps you comfortable, and do what you like to do in a place you like to do it. So money is important to some people, others not, but it really all just kind of comes down to making sure that you're happy. And this job makes me happy, so I'm going to keep doing it. And I hope you guys join me someday. Bye, guys. Have a good one.